Well, hello everybody. I'm out in the grow room real quick. I think I've got another video I'm going to put out of the outside and underneath the canopy, working on it. Just showing what I've been doing outside. Give it an update. I thought I would show you real quick inside what's going on. Still lots and lots of blooms. These phals have been blooming since October last year. Some of them are eating spikes, but for most of them, they're hanging on to all these spikes, hanging on to them and growing new leaves and new roots right now. It's been much easier the past couple of weeks to get these guys fed, much easier, and I've noticed a difference in them. They're a little more plumped up now, a little more fattened up, and look more like their old selves. But I've done a few of them. I've caused a couple of wrinkles and a few leaves here and there because of not giving them enough moisture over the past couple of months. But I thought I'd show a few of the plants and what's going on, some of the blooms. See, some of these phals are still blooming, just blooming so hard still. These guys are still blooming. Look at these spikes. They've been blooming so long. That big phal has 3 spikes on it, still lots of flowers on it. Just doing beautiful. Color looks better. The magnesium definitely helped. I think the fluorescent lights, I'm not sure if fluorescent lights was causing part of the problem, but they seem to be doing much better now that they're not underneath those fluorescent lights. Outside, I've got the blind closed, but it's beautiful outside. It's about 85 degrees or something, and I've been working outside, getting everything ready, pressure washer and stuff like that. But I'm almost ready to put the plants outside. As long as they've got a nice, clean, safe place to keep them in here where they're warm and protected. I'm not that big a hurry, but I want to get them outside so Mother Nature can give me a break, and I don't have to water quite as often. This is at Banfildera Mystic Maze Gilded Tower. Such a big, beautiful plant. Finally opened up its flower spike. Beautiful spike. Not quite all of them are opened yet, but such a pretty flower. Just a beautiful flower. Nice size too. Nice size on them. Beautiful detail. The red one is CTNA Why Not, still blooming, doing really nice. And this little beauty, and the light does not do it justice. It's got more purple in it, but such a beautiful color of purple and yellow. This is the Awanagara apple blossom, and this is that little plant that I was almost going to throw out. And I got 2 beautiful blooms out of it. Really happy with it. Not the most beautiful. I've seen a couple of Awanagaras the last couple of weeks. Paula, one of my viewers, a dear friend of mine, grew the most gorgeous Awanagara apple blossom. Blooms on it are just spectacular. So I've seen quite a few of them that are much prettier than this one, but I'm not saying it's not pretty. It's beautiful. Really delicate colors, gorgeous. A light fragrant scent to it. Reminds me more of I don't know, more of a rose than anything. But a very pretty one. I think it might have more scent if it gets outside, but I've got a handful of the plants sitting over here. I thought I'd show a few of them. Some of these are ones that I get asked about a lot, and some are just some that are growing I grabbed off the shelf, and maybe answer a question or two. This is in Dendrobium speciosum, and it's doing very well. Has a new growth back here, and this is its latest growth right here. It's still sensitive to the light. That's what the other one did, colored up like that. That's the other one it grew next to it. But some nice new growths and progressively larger. Each one's gotten bigger and bigger. So I'm really happy with the growth of this plant. It's planted in just big pieces of limestone gravel, like you have in your driveway, and seems to be very happy in it. I can't wait to try and get a bloom out of these guys. They're beautiful when they bloom, and I'm just anxious to get a bloom on it, but I know it has to get mature enough to be able to do that also, and I don't think it's anywhere near there quite yet. But that's just one of the Oncidium Gower Ramsays back here, what they call Dancing Lady. Doing really well, a little faded, needs a little bit more nitrogen. Has a couple of new growths popping out, I've noticed down below, but lots of root growth, doing really well. It was sitting up here getting watered. Let me pop it on the tripod here, instead of me trying to hold it still. Sorry about the rough ride. This is BL Yellowbird, one of my favorites. This was a bag baby I got, I don't know, about a year and a half ago. I showed a video of planting it in this pot. I got 2 of those, and one of them didn't make it, and this one almost died all the way. It died all the way back till just a couple of strands and a few little bad roots, and it came back. It was about that time that I was learning how much calcium these plants really need, how much calcium these orchids have to have available to them, and once I figured that out, this thing has just turned into a small bush. It's really grown well, and actually has a flower spike right here. I noticed very first flower spike for a BL yellowbird. I'm sure it's just starting to become mature. Part of it, but a vigorous grower. Nice, always has shoots coming out. Beautiful, beautiful root growth. This one's in lava rock with a little bit of moss on it. But always has. There's another new shoot right here. Lots of new shoots. Beautiful growth. Vigorous grower. Just a beautiful, beautiful plant to have. This one, let me swap plants here for a second. This is one of my favorites, and this is that little mottled fowl I have. I'll let you guys just read the name. Hopefully you can see that. It had 2 beautiful spikes full of these pink and purple, really light pink pastel, with a little bit of purple details on them. Scented spikes, and it ate both of them. As soon as it finished flowering, it promptly sucked them both up and then started growing a new leaf. Doesn't seem, I raised my feed levels, I changed a few things on it, and I think it slowed it down, but it didn't stop it. It ate those spikes regardless, and I don't think it's normal. I still don't think it's normal. I still think I've got other Phalaenopsis that aren't eating their flower spikes, but this particular one just haven't been able to figure it out yet, but I'll get there, I'll get there, I'll get there. Definitely one of my favorites. I just love the foliage on it. Has a nice new leaf coming out on it right there. This is damage I did also last year. I showed where I snagged it on one of those wire hooks from the little mini fowls and snagged it. But it's held onto the leaf and done well. Didn't spread a whole lot further than that. But it's doing well. Lots and lots of root growth, lots of new roots, lots of new tips poking out, and I'm just going to keep feeding it, and see how thick see how many leaves we can get stacked up on it, and see what kind of bloom we can get on it. See if we can't get it to hold on to those flower spikes better. Work in progress, work in progress. This is pull it back here a second. Some of these plants are getting big. I swear these things are getting big. This one's about 2 feet tall. Big, beautiful plant. Nice tight growth. This is BLC. Grant Eichler Lynette. Love the growth on this one. It's got a gorgeous bloom on it too. Nice, tight, compact growth on it. Doesn't take off and grow out of the pot too fast. Vigorous, vigorous grower. You can see the new shoots popping out at the bottom down there. Lots and lots of root growth. Loves the nutrients, loves the water. This one's planted in river rock, doing great, doing great. And this is just, these make great, this type of plant that has that nice growth like that makes a great, easy plant to care for. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and they get quite large too, I think, because you can allow them to get quite large because of their growth habit. They can really fill up a pot, you know. This is one of the phals, and I have this phal here for a reason, not so much to show you the growth on it. It's doing great. It's doing great if I don't break the spike off. It's holding onto the flower spike, and it's feeding. It's doing great. It's holding onto its leaves. It has a new leaf coming out, another new one coming out of the center there. It's got great, great color on it. I've got it here for a reason. Let me try this one. One of the questions I get asked all the time is, when should I water, and how often do I water, and how often should I water my plants? You need to give them water when your plants need water. I can't tell you how often, and I don't feed on a schedule. I don't water on a schedule. I will say this: whenever I water, I give nutrients. I very, very rarely just put water on a plant or give a plant just straight water. 99.9% of the time, if I give them moisture, there's nutrients in it. All right. Now, with that being said, to answer that question, I can't really tell you when to water your plants because I don't know your environment, I don't know your temperatures, how your plants are growing, the media that they're in, etc., etc. And even if you gave me all that information, you have to kind of learn to look at your own plants. And here's what I tell people when they ask me that question is, I tell them, I can't honestly answer that because I don't know your environment that you're growing your plants in, but here's what you should do. All right? You need to learn to look at the roots when you're trying to figure out when to water your plants. Okay? I'm going to do you some close-ups here because my hands are not going to be steady enough to hold the camera that close, so just bear with me here if you would, please. but try not to disconnect everybody and blur it all up. But roots that are nice and plump and hydrated are fat, round. It depends on the species and the plant and everything, but they have a nice fat, round appearance. Full, plump, round appearance. You can see how they're smooth, they're round. They might be gnarly looking, but they're, and even if you feel them, they're smooth to the touch, all right? Now, this phao needs water. And you can see the roots, how they're flattened out and how they have a grainy texture to them. They have wrinkles on them. See if it'll focus there. But see how they flatten out? They're not round anymore. And you can see that one has more moisture in it. See how much more round it is? But they'll start out nice, fat, round. And as they lose moisture, they will slowly, get more of a flattened out shape, oval. There's nice, full, round, plump roots. All right. And then these are roots that, now these have actually gone a little beyond where I'd normally like them to go, but that plant hasn't had water in probably at least a week, maybe a little longer. And you can tell the roots are flattened out, they're smooth, they're flattened out, they have a lot of wrinkles. They're not standing, proud of the wood, off the wood like that. They're flattened out. That plant needs water. It's saying, give me water. It's saying, I actually need water a couple of days ago. But you want to learn to look at the roots and judge your own plants. That way when you have a whole room full of plants like I do here and all different varieties and different types, I can just go down and I'm not looking at the leaves, because you don't want to look at the leaves for hydration, because if you're waiting till the leaves are showing signs of hydration, now you're getting cell damage. You've gone way too long. Your roots are probably even damaged by then or even dead by then if you're letting it get into its leaf, the reserves of its leaves or stuff. Pulling moisture out of that, getting that far. But I look through my plants and I look at the roots, and the ones that say, hey, give me moisture, that are wrinkled up and starting to flatten out, those are the ones that go to the bins and soak or get watered first. The ones that are nice and round, and some of them may last 10 days before they get, their leaves start to show signs of losing some of the hydration. And others I have that in 24 hours their leaves will already start flattening out. Other varieties start flattening out and saying, give me water. So it just really depends on the individual plant. Placement in the room has an effect on it. I don't have any fans going right now, but when the fans are running, and I might turn them off here at the end of the video just to show you how much airflow I have, but when the fans are running, there's some spots in the room that get more airflow than others, and those plants will dry out quicker than others. And that's why I kind of move the plants around so they kind of find the best spot for themselves. But learn to look at the plant's roots to judge when it needs water. And it would be no difference if it's hanging on a mount either. When they're on the mount, they're nice and round and plump, and when they start to lose hydration, they get flattened out very quickly. All right, so learn to look at the roots. Learn to recognize the signs. Don't look at the leaves, look at the roots. So anyway, hope that helps with that question. I'm going to get back to it. I've got lots of work to do. I've got to pressure wash a whole patio and stuff too. Hopefully I'll have 2 videos out here for you this afternoon. But thank you so much again for all the kind words and the thoughts, the messages, the good karma and everything. It just means the world to Jan and I. It gives us so much strength. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for all the support. It really, truly just touches my heart. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.